I was at home one evening and I decided to turn on the television. On this particular day, a documentary came on. And it was a young man who was telling his life story. He was talked about all the trials and troubles that he went through and how people had made fun of him, how even his own family turned their back on him. At this particular point of the documentary, my heart began to go out to him. See, it's never good for anybody to be talked about or looked down upon. He said at this particular point in his life, he had a revelation. And in this revelation, he realized that he was gay. I began to think and I began to ponder on that word. I said to myself, it is possible, and even the Bible supports it. It's possible for a woman to love another woman, and it's possible for a man to love another man. And I began to think, when he used to say, I was born gay. But gay is an activity, it's an emotion. See, gay is something that you do and you participate in. Just like a man that decides, I want to marry this woman, that man can also change his mind and decide, you know what, I want to be with a man. Do you know it's possible for a woman to love another woman? Do you know it's possible for a man to love another man? It's possible for them to be in a wonderful and loving relationship. They can care for one another. They can protect one another. They can live a wonderful and happy life. See, but the only issue is that's not what God wants. You know what it's like? It is like a waiter going to a customer at a restaurant and asking the customer, what do you want? Now, there are many things on the menu. There are many things that the customer can choose from on the menu. But when the customer submits their order and says, I want this, it is the responsibility of the waiter to ignore everything else on the menu and give the customer what they asked for. In Romans chapter 1 and verse 24, God says it was the natural use of a man to be with a woman. It is not to say that a man can't be with a man and a woman can't be with another woman. But if you ever ask God what he wants, then that means you have to ignore all other options and give God what he requested and what he has asked for. We're not talking about possibility. We're not even talking about love. We're talking about if you want to serve God. The Bible says in Romans chapter 1 and verse 25, the Bible says they took the truth of God and they changed it into a lie. If I was to approach God and I ask God, God, what can I do to please you and make you happy? Whatever comes out of God's mouth is what I need to present to him, even though there are many other options on the list. But if I want to please God, then I have to do what God has asked. Gay, being homosexual, is an activity. And just like you can choose a man, you can change your mind and you can choose a woman. God gives us the ability to change our mind and change our activity. It's like a man that says, you know what, I'm a football player. But the moment he stops playing football, he becomes an ex-football player. See, playing football is not who he is. It's what he did. And in order to please God, God says, I want a man and I want a woman to be together. That is God's original design. I'm not saying you can't make it work. I'm just saying God never ordered it.
Restore.